Morning! It's the one, the only Senor Silverback back again with the main man CJ, the master of the flux capacitor. It's another Rogue Money Mornings where we break down the news, the views, and all the information important to you. With that being said, check us out on roguemoney.net. Follow us on Twitter at the Rogue Money. And check us out on Rogue Money Facebook, Rogue Money Apple app, the Apple News app, Rogue Money iTunes, Rogue Money Google Play. We're everywhere you want us to be. And also check out our sponsors, myfreedomnow.us, myfreedomnow.us. Whether you need your credit fixed, you need to get out of debt, or you need funding for that pet project of yours, those investments, or a new addition, or heck, even buy a house, find out how myfreedomnow.us can get you up to $600,000 unsecured as they deal with a network of 335 lenders. With that being said, CJ, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, V. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm hanging in there. You had a great weekend. Mine was not long enough, so I'm just chilling, dude. I wish today was a weekend too, but unfortunately, I can't make that now. I'm spend the rest of the week working like a dog.
Yeah, it was great, V, to watch over the weekend that finally so many news agencies were coming forth and saying, you know what, this whole Comey thing wasn't the smoking gun. What do we do now? and then Iran comes out of nowhere to say, hey, you know what? We may have some proof here that the U.S. supported ISIL / ISIS in the Middle East. V. Interesting.
What is that story about, man? I know it was Iran. This is days after after the whole Congressman Dana Rohrabacher floats that idea, right?
It started, with Iran. They had these terrorist attacks. I believe there was 2, right, that killed 17 people. And the speechwriters that gave Trump his speech, it was kind of one of those half heartfelt messages stating that we sorry that it happened, everything. However, when your state sponsors terrorism, these are some of the things that can happen. So the deputy chief of staff in the Iranian armed forces didn't take it too well and said, well, let's talk about this because we possess documents showing that the U.S. imperialism supports ISIS and ISIL. We have supporting documents to show this. So they didn't take that message very well from Trump when he had that speech, after those attacks. So, and it's very interesting to watch this because we know that the deep state, V, we know that they're in fear right now because of all this information, I think, that is about ready to come forth. And Comey kind of pried that door open for this to begin.
Absolutely. And this is what's so stupid about the deep state. This is why you deep state characters, you establishment hacks, are going to die. This is why you will die on the hill from which you are trying to climb. You are going to die on the whole stupid Russia narrative. You're going to die on the whole stupid boogeyman narrative of, we need to attack Iran. Oh my God, Iran is a sponsor of state terrorism. No, it's the Saudis, and we all know that. And apart from the United States, the rest of the world understands very clearly who the hell came up with USIS. It's none other than the United States. When I hear this idiot Rohrabacher, this half brain dead moron, I don't know what state this idiot is from. Rohrabacher says this: isn't it a good thing for us to have the United States finally backing up the Sunnis who attack Hezbollah? Now, this asshole has no idea what he's talking about. He's just dribbling at the mouth, CJ. Isn't it a good thing? And if so, maybe this is a Trump strategy of actually supporting one group against another, concerning that you have terrorist organizations. Maybe it's a good idea to have radical Muslim terrorists fighting each other. I mean, are you kidding me? This guy's clueless. He doesn't know the difference between a Sunni and a Shiite. He has no idea what a Wahhabist is. He has no idea that there are Alawites. This is the moron, CJ, who swallowed the stupid pill and thinks there's a civil war in Syria. There's no civil war in Syria. It's an international bankster, an oil petroleum conglomerate insurgency in Syria against a secular government, because God forbid, CJ, there's a secular government in the Middle East. God forbid. So all of a sudden, the West and its long history of supporting terrorism, going back to the Muslim Brotherhood, going back even before that, when Hitler supported Islamic terrorists, okay, back in the 40s and late 30s. This is a cozy relationship that the idiots have, and this moron's talking about this nonsense. And what does the Iranian guy do? What does the supreme leader of the Revolutionary Guards, Ayatollah Sayyid al-Khamenei, said? That's a mouthful right there, CJ. He
Thank you.
says, we possess documents and information. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny that Erdogan about a year ago said the same thing?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Everybody knows this. Assange has said this. The Pentagon Papers, for the love of God, look it up. The Pentagon Papers were leaked, and the Pentagon Papers said what? Drum roll, please. The U.S. created ISIS. Can we move on? I mean, Jesus Christ, people, come on. I'm getting tired of seeing these idiots, morons, holding on to a dying paradigm, CJ. Holding on to a dying paradigm. Man, I'm on too much dark roast this morning.
No. It's all good. And I'm going to jump forward a little bit because there's someone else, V, that we need to talk about. Someone else that completely has stupid dripping out the ears right now.
Oh.
And that is no other than insane in the membrane John McCain. I mean, this guy is just an idiot on the hill. He needs to be deemed mentally unfit to serve as a U.S. Senator, V.
He needs to be electrocuted. He needs to be given lithium and locked away in a room with cushioned walls. McCain is a moron.
Did you hear his questioning of Comey?
I heard
it. How confused he was through the hearing and the questioning that he was asking. This guy could not differentiate the fact that the Clinton email server was a different case than the DNC hack. Like Comey had to explain it to him. Like he was trying to draw a parallel between the two and asking why one case was closed, what happened, and all this. And Comey had to, like, I think even Comey was confused by the question. McCain had me. I'm like, does this guy not understand that those are completely two different things that they're kind of investigating right now? So now he's coming forth and report that John McCain is actually claiming, get this, V, get this. Okay, you ready for it?
Yeah. That
Barack Obama provided better American leadership than Donald Trump.
Barack 18-hole Obama. Barack, I'm not in there in the White House, Obama. Barack, I go play golf, Obama. His holiday from his 8 years was America's holiday from history. This guy went on the apology tour. This guy was lackadaisical. He had no respect. Better leadership. This guy's a joke. This is why this idiot McCain, what does he say, CJ? He says, there was a question. What do you think why do you think America doesn't want to lead? And McCain's answer, CJ, was, they're not sure of American leadership, whether it be in Siberia or whether it be in Antarctica. What the hell is he talking about? Siberia and Antarctica. American leadership in Siberia and Antarctica. McCain, please take your lithium. I want to introduce you to some shock therapy. We'll wire you up, and then shock you a couple of times, and then you can go back to your little bouncy little, your little mansion over there with your wife that you like to curse out all the time, and you can dribble in a cup. My God, please, let's get away with this guy. This guy's unbelievable, Siege.
Yes, and to my friends, I lived in Arizona for a while, V. So my friends in Arizona, last 2 years ago when it was, they never even ran anyone against John McCain on the Republican ticket. Okay, so Arizona is prime. My friends that are libertarians, Arizona is prime for somebody to go in and run for. Heck, in fact, I will start a super PAC to fund a campaign against John McCain. Okay, I'm that fed up with this guy. And V, we all know why he's doing this, because he's living in fear right now, because he knows that he has direct ties to what we just covered. Who was the first with their little meddling in Syria? Who was the first that was there meeting with what later became, these moderate rebel leaders? Who was the first meeting there with them? No other than John McCain himself.
Who else but Johnny McCain?
Boom.
Johnny McCain was meeting with Bakhtar al-Baghdadi, right? The leader of ISIS, the guy who 1 year was this clean-shaven Muslim secular guy, and the following year he's the state actor, becomes the mad mullah of ISIS, and that's where you see him. That's where you see him. He is the mad imam of ISIS. All of a sudden, spewing his hate and his rhetoric. And who meets with him? McCain. McCain says, what did he say? Oh, there's nothing but moderate rebels over there. They're all moderate. They're all fighting the evil Assad. McCain, why don't you go shove your own fist up your ass and go home? Can't take this guy anymore.
No, nope. And V, it looks like the situation regarding Saudi Arabia's attack on Qatar could be unraveling.
Oh man, yeah, exactly. Let's break that down real quick, man. Oh man, it's unreal. A week into the crisis, Saudi Arabia has instigated when it broke diplomatic relations with Qatar and imposed a land-to-air blockade of the tiny Gulf state. It's becoming clear that it's failing to bring Qatar to heel. Instead, Qatar has successfully secured pledges and support from Turkey and Iran, two military giants in the region, and they appear to have a tacit support of Kuwait and is gaining diplomatic traction with Russia. In other words, the Saudis are screwed. I can stop reading the article right there. Okay. As for the U.S., though, the U.S. President Trump has seemed to tilt to Saudi Arabia's side in this quarrel. U.S. Secretary of State Tillerson, also a former oil executive, must know this region well, seems intent on taking a more conciliatory line towards Qatar, calling for the blockade of Qatar to be lifted. I have no doubt it will be his counsels, which in the U.S. will eventually prevail. This whole thing has blown turd into the faces of the Saudi outhouse, the outhouse of Saud. Whatever the hell is really going on in Qatar, them reaching out to the Turks and reaching out to Iran and then Kuwait and then Russia. That's all you need, especially Turkey and Iran. Those are the two powerful militaries in that whole region. They're much more powerful than the Saudis. Saudis ain't going to go pick a fight because they're cowards. They live on a fiefdom where 30% of their people live in poverty. Okay, so they don't want to go pick no fight. And now they're gaining diplomatic traction with Russia. It's game over. And what's happening is it's pretty interesting. If Qatar goes to the side of the East, it is another way to splinter the OPEC and the cabal, as London Paul would say. Very interesting. I'd like to hear what London Paul has to say about this as well. But I think we could be seeing the end of OPEC. I think we are seeing the end of the cabal. And I think, if the U.S. goes along with Qatar, that means we're saying goodbye to OPEC and the cabal. And you got to understand, OPEC translated the bankers. That's what OPEC is. It's the bankers. Who set it up?
We will have a new world order, CJ. I am Henry Kissinger, and we will have a new world order.
Him. He set it up. That fat guy who looks like Pac-Man with arms and legs. He set it up.
Pac-Man with arms.
That's what he looks like. Pac-Man.
That's classic. Yeah.
The Pac-Man of he's like a satanic Pac-Man, like a satanic Pac-Man troll flying all over the world with arms and legs, talking about
we will have a new world order.
That guy. He set it up. So it's going to be interesting to see what Paul breaks down. I think this is a nice, good news, and I think this is another major defeat for the cabal. Now that the smoke and the fog of war is lifting, CJ.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think, yep. That's exactly what's happening, B. And yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what London Paul has to say. And, we're gaining so much momentum here stateside as well, V, in terms of, now's the time that, again, Comey opened the door to provide, counter, basically, new investigations to begin looking at the whole Loretta Lynch influence on the whole Clinton email investigation. So that opens the door. There's one door that can be opened there. And then the second one is in regards to investigating Comey himself for perhaps a breach of not record retention, but just confidentiality when he, released his quote unquote memo to his friend, the professor, to leak to the media. So there's a couple doors there. So hopefully they take advantage of that and they go on the offensive. I hope they don't hold it close to their chest as leverage for any type of, legislation or stuff like that. The opportunity is primed. It's there. And then you see what's happening here domestically in regards to, energy with some of the things that Trump has done to relieve of all these regulations. And now we're witnessing the very first new coal mine that's opening in Pennsylvania.
Huge. Simply huge. I can't wait for my electric bill to start going down again, CJ. This is good news. This is what makes sense. And all you libtard weenies who are talking about climate change because you don't understand simple climatology, and the Fruit Loop idiots that you follow don't understand it either, want to go ahead and cry bloody murder. But this is good news for the rest of us who actually have a job, who actually do pay bills. Moving on. Unreal. What's this I hear? That all of a sudden, USIS is about to get their asses kicked and handed to them. And out of nowhere, here comes the U.S. to the rescue. What's going on in the Philippines, bro?
The U.S. to the rescue. And this is, ironically enough, they started reporting over the weekend in regards to, U.S. special forces arriving, in the Philippines. And, Duterte, who previously has been very outspoken, has been building alliances with Russia, with China, which obviously the U.S. isn't too happy about that. He has went on a huge offensive against ISIS in this area that has, suddenly, all of a sudden just has launched, ISIS has launched attacks in this city. They were starting to be defeated by the Philippine forces, and boom, all of a sudden, U.S. forces arrived. Now, Duterte is stating that he was not aware that they were going to be arriving. So the question is that is the military of the Philippines, are they directly in communication with the U.S. asking for support and to understand why exactly this happened?
Yep, absolutely, man. And come on, folks, it's not coincidence here. All of a sudden, somebody somewhere is about to smash a terror group. Out of nowhere, the deep state of the U.S. comes to the rescue. It's not coincidence. I mean, how much more do we have to see of this? I mean, you can set your clock. See it. You can set your watch by it, bro. That train's never late, man. That train's never. ISIS is about to be defeated in Raqqa. Oh, U.S. airstrikes hit Syrian army.
Right. And the same thing happened in Somalia over the weekend as well. I didn't put it in the deck, but the same thing that happened in Somalia where they were actually, fighting hard against these extremists, basically were massacring the terrorist-led organizations in Somalia. And then boom, all of a sudden, there's U.S. attacks in Somalia.
Yep, absolutely. They're going to, Somalia is about to crush Jamia al-Islami. They're about to wipe them out from the strongholds of Mogadishu. Oh, there comes a U.S. airstrike. Tomahawk cruise missile. I mean, dude, it's getting old, guys. Guys, establishment, it's getting old. Can you move on? You're about to lose bigly. You need to move on and try something else. It's ridiculous. These idiots.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's this public theater assassination? Another assassination attempt at Donald Trump.
I don't get it. The hard left and NYC, and so apparently the New York City Public Theater has a play. It's a Julius Caesar play. However, in this play, in the final stages, the man that gets killed or assassinated
happens to look like Trump. Let me guess, right?
Happens to look like Trump. Blondish hair, suit, Trump-like Caesar character. The woman in the role has a Slavic, accent. Kind of the same thing as Ivanka. And now they're getting some blowback because of this. So a couple of big corporate sponsors are pulling out because they're like, hey, wait a minute. That looks like Donald Trump being assassinated in this play. And so Delta, Bank of America have dropped sponsorship, which is absolutely the right thing to do. I would like to see a larger public outcry of this display in a public area. This is not art, folks. This is not art. This is a political agenda.
This is what is in the mind of the far left. The far left hate human life. They worship death and excrement. There's no other way to describe it. The far left in the Western world worship at the altar of death and excrement. That's what they love. They love. I mean, everywhere you look. I mean, look at their art. They think making paintings with excrement is art, and they're into like death. They love death. You know, they love. I mean, oh my God, they love abortion clinics. They love concentration camps. I mean, they love stabbing leaders and pretending to behead people. And they love radical Islam. That's what they're into, man. They're self-hating, self-loathing masochists. The left, the far left needs to be done away with, man. It's got to go.
Well,
just like the far right is done, it's time for the far left to go.
Yeah, and freedom, liberty is on the rise. We witnessed this weekend the huge anti-Sharia marches, demonstrations across the United States, and I want to applaud those people for taking a stand and very public display of saying, you know what, our country was built upon freedom, built upon so many of the things, the characteristics that is completely different than any type of a Sharia mandate, Sharia law, and we're no longer going to stand for it. We're no longer going to. We're going to put our foot down right here. So it was great. People like Ivan Thorne, I believe in Denver. Across the United States, we witnessed this. So it was a good weekend for freedom.
Absolutely. And with that being said, Siege, we're at the end of the broadcast. Another exciting day is in the history books and another great morning show. That being said, we have London Paul coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be live, so make sure you guys listen in. And again, check us out, roguemoney.net, Rogue Money Facebook, at the Rogue Money Twitter, and check out our sponsors. Whether you need to get out of debt, whether you need money, whether the heck you need, check out myfreedomnow.us, myfreedomnow.us. Get the funds to change your life. Get that investment. I mean, $600,000, dude. You know how much Bitcoin? Speaking of Ethereum, $300, baby.
Boom, boom.
Woo!
It lit up.
Yeah.
On fire.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. So check it out. Ethereum. I mean, you know how much Ethereum I can buy for $600K? Oh my God. Forget about it. Then I'll buy the Four Horsemen. Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google. Those are some stocks I'd get. Heck, I'll even get Tesla and play them long at this moment because these idiots are being propped up. Anyway, it is what it is. Siege, we're over and out, buddy. Take it away.